Okay, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm going to speak to the people who aren't fans of the TV show or have never seen it first. It's a good movie. If you haven't seen the show or aren't a humongous fan of the show, you will enjoy the film. As I was walking out of the theater, I heard a lot of people say, oh, it was good, had a lot of action. I saw it with my grandmother. She thought it was good from the beginning to end. She didn't get bored. I didn't get bored either, but I have quite a few qualms with this film because I like the TV show so much. But if you don't like the TV show or haven't seen it, go ahead and see Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you have, keep watching. Okay, so I watched a behind-the-scenes thing on Nickelodeon about this movie last night before it came out, and M. Night Shyamalan warned the fans, us, you, me, everyone, that he made two big changes. The first one was the pronunciation of the character names. So he went with the more Asian, authentic thing with Ong and Sokka and Iroh, stuff like that. Which I'm not a huge fan of, but I understand. Like, I don't mind that he did that because he wanted to ground the film more. I do mind that he changed the character appearances so much, though. When I first saw the casting, I was irate. I was so angry he changed the races and appearances of the characters so much. But honestly, their acting kind of made up for it. It wasn't superb or like Academy Award winning, but it was still good. I don't like that he got rid of Zuko's original hair in the cartoon though, because there was that whole metamorphosis where he cuts off the ponytail and then that's him like rejecting the Fire Nation, and as his hair grows, he grows to a more peaceful, well-rounded person, and that can't happen in the movie now. It can't happen. Because he already has hair. His scar is kind of lacking too. I liked how it took up like Zuko's entire face. Second big change was that the firebenders had to have fire around, because apparently M. Night Shyamalan didn't like that the waterbenders and earthbenders were restricted to the earth and water around them. But, I mean, the airbenders are never restricted by the amount of air around them because there's air everywhere, and that's like kind of the same thing as I see with firebenders. They don't need fire around because they have the sun. He decided to make only the most powerful benders able to create fire using their chi, which is apparently their fire breath. And I mean, it's an okay change. There was one change I guess he thought wasn't a big deal, but I think it's a huge deal, and I want the fans out there to comment below and tell me if you agree with me. Because here's the thing, in that little preview the Avatar revealed, he said he filmed a bunch of stuff with the Kyoshi Warriors, loved it, and then decided not to add it because he loved it too much. And I understand what he meant when he said it would take the movie in a different direction because he liked it so much. However, there was already a really good story that he could follow and add the Kyoshi Warriors in there. I don't know why he didn't just follow it. Also, you may say, well, Dakota, the Kyoshi Warriors aren't that big of a deal in book 1. Why can't he just introduce them in book 2? Because book 2's too late. They have very important, crucial roles in books 2 and 3. In book 2, Princess Azula impersonates the Kyoshi Warriors so that she can conquer Ba Sing Se and throw the coup d'etat with the Dai Li. That's a big deal. And in the third one, the whole Sokka-Suki relationship comes into play and is really important because he goes to the Boiling Rock to save her and then finds his father, and that, you know what I'm talking about. But the point is, how is he going to introduce the Kyoshi Warriors now? He's definitely making the second two because this one was called Book 1 at the very beginning. So I'm really interested to see how he's going to shove the Kyoshi Warriors in there real quick, book 2. And if he gets rid of them entirely, I don't understand. Why would you get rid of them entirely? Speaking of eliminating things entirely, I understand you can't put everything from the show in a movie. I do understand that. He got rid of a lot of the little stories and side plots that add a lot of depth to the characters, mainly like Zuko, Sokka, Katara, stuff like that. So really I walked away from the movie only caring about Aang. The whole thing with the show, I feel, is that writers make you really care about the characters. You care what happens to them because you've seen them go through all of these things. The only side plot that they kept intact was Sokka and Princess Yue's relationship. But first of all, they got rid of the struggle between Yue and Sokka because she wasn't engaged. Her father was dead in the movie, and like she just died when she gave her life force to the moon. She didn't become part of the moon or anything like that. And I didn't care when he had to get rid of her. The acting was fine, like it was compelling. You could tell that they cared about each other, but they didn't show why they cared about each other except for maybe 1 or 2 walks they took. Another thing that they cut out that I thought really developed Katara as a character in the show, and they eliminated in the movie, was when they go to the Northern Water Tribe and she's not allowed to bend. Women are healers and men are fighters. So the master, who did not have a name in the movie, by the way, he tells her, in the show, he tells her, no, you go learn to heal, blah, blah, blah. Aang will learn to fight, and then the whole thing, like, the master stops teaching Aang because Aang teaches Katara the moves. That didn't happen in the movie. Katara was right there with all the guys for no reason whatsoever. And she was, like, Aang has mastered water by the end of it, so Katara has no need to be his master. Like, she has no reason to teach him anything anymore, which kind of is lame. While we're on the North Pole subject, I didn't enjoy really the final fighting scene. You know how in the series he uses the spirit of the ocean, like the fish, and they fuse together and they fight that way? He just makes a giant wall of water and drives the Fire Nation away. It's a lot less dramatic. Which is another thing. I think it's a sad day when an animated television series is more exciting than a live-action movie. The fights were okay, and they were very well choreographed. I'm not taking anything away from that. However, they were slow. Like, the bending, they went through 5 or 6, maybe 7 different movements to get like 2 or 3 little droplets of water in the air. They make the movements so fluid and flawless, and the bending's beautiful and everything, and the movie didn't represent that well enough. One of the main reasons people fear the Fire Lord is because we didn't get to see his face in the cartoon. I don't think it was revealed until mid-book 2, end of book 2, and they showed it right away in the movie. Like, you automatically see who he is. He's the one that comes up with the idea to kill the moon spirit, when it was a very big thing in book 1 that Commander Zhao was the one who wanted to kill it because he wanted to make history. Zhao's death is just mediocre. It's not as meaningful as it was in the series. The Fire Lord's just some regular guy, which might be M. Night Shyamalan's point. I'm not sure, but I don't approve. And the throne room where he sits is not full of fire, and that's kind of a big deal. It's a big cultural element of the Fire Nation and the palace and stuff, but you guys can decide for yourselves how you feel about being able to see the Fire Lord right away. I don't think it was a good idea. At the end of the movie, the Fire Lord says that Sozin's comet is 3 years from the start of the film, and the entire Avatar television series takes place over 10 months. Give or take a month or 2. I don't recall the exact number, but around 10 months. Aang has to master all the elements in 10 months, and they're giving him 3 years in the movie universe. And that just, like, gets rid of some of the urgency, if you ask me. It's not as exciting or intense. I'm not thrilled about M. Night Shyamalan's interpretation of the series. I like it too much. I'm not gonna say it was a waste of my money. It was a decent film. It was a decent adaptation. If you like the series as much as I do, you will be disappointed with a lot of things. But you also just might be more open-minded than I am. I'm a purist when it comes to this, and I think they should have left well enough alone. That was my review on Avatar: The Last Airbender. Stay tuned for more reviews in the future. Yeah.